Hey guys, Ronin here. Welcome back to the Retrocade. It is Sunday, which means it is time once again for Suckerpunch Sunday. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell for the latest notifications of what is coming up. Also, be sure to check out our Sports Saturday feature, where we feature, obviously, sports-based games from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generations. Yesterday, we did the Sega Genesis NHL Hockey 94. And then, of course, follow along Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We're continuing our walkthrough through the Super Nintendo Entertainment System classic role-playing game Final Fantasy VI. And we're still doing 2 episodes a day for that as well. And if there are games you would like to see featured on the channel going forward, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. And again, your options are from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, and PlayStation 2. It could be any game you want. Does not matter. There's a couple thousand games of all those catalogs to choose from, so if there's one you'd like to see featured, leave it down below. I can't promise I'll get to all of them right away, but I will give them due consideration. So, for this Sucker Punch Sunday, I thought we were going to try something a little different. Because like I said, the whole purpose of this feature that we do every weekend is to highlight classic fighting games. And last weekend we did King of Fighters 94 for the Neo-Geo. And in keeping with that theme, I wanted to do a fighting-based game, but not a standalone fighting game. So we're going to play the 1986 game Renegade. Renegade was developed for the Nintendo Entertainment System by Taito for the arcades and Technos Japan. In Japan, it is known as Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun, which translates roughly to hot-blooded tough guy Kunio. And it is a derivative of what would later come out with games like Double Dragon and Streets of Rage and River City Ransom, things of that nature. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this for about the next 25 minutes or so, see how far we can get. It's been a long time since I've played it. And it's a pretty straightforward game. You just go through and you beat up everybody in your way. And right now, I'm already off to a not-so-great start. And this game was one that I didn't get to play very much as a kid, only because by the time it came out, it had been usurped by games like Double Dragon as the ones you wanted to play. And again, it's being a Nintendo game, it's not very complicated. Your A button is your punch button, your B button is your kick, depending on which way you're facing. If you're facing left, then your B button is your attack button or your punch button, and your A is your back kick button. And already, we've been taken down. But unlike other fighting games where you would have the option of getting weapons, like in games like Streets of Rage, I'd be able to take this guy out and get his baton or his staff that he's using. That doesn't seem to be an option here. And if you hit both the A-B buttons at the same time, you get this jump kick. But I gotta be able to do something here pretty soon, otherwise we are gonna be in a world of hurt. But because the Nintendo Entertainment System had limited options as far as what your controller could do, it's all a matter of how you are able to utilize those options in each situation. The whole idea of this game was that you're a high school kid who's trying to take down the bullies in the neighborhood after they beat up a friend of yours. Which, I mean, it's not the most grandiose plot in the world, but most fighting games of this era were of similar nature. And if you can get close enough to these guys, then you can unlock them. Or lock them up and be able to throw them. Ow. And this guy's waylaying on me. Oh, and he turned the tables. That's not cool. And I don't think I'm going to get out of this one. His Jack has already whooped me. I know this game was influenced a bit by the 1979 film The Warriors. And considering the way this boss is designed, you can definitely see that. And he's... Oh, man, he is beating the crap out of me here. And just like that, I am toast. So 6 minutes in, and we have already had our first game over situation. So let's see if we can do better this time around. Games like this back in the 80s, as this was an arcade port, there were versions of it you can get in most arcades back in the day. Ooh, it knocked him clean off the platform. That's good to know. But the difficulty curves in this were merciless, as you can already see. But being able to thrust kick the guys from behind you to keep them away, that helps out. And then you're able to get your life replenished when you get on the train. Ow. There. And playing this on a modern controller, I have to admit, is more difficult than you would think. Only because the way the buttons are designed, I've almost got him. There he goes. Alright, that one went a little bit better. You ain't tough enough for me. But I'm playing with an Xbox 360 generic controller. And even with this, it has the ability to have like turbo functions on it. And even with that, it's one where my thumbs are already starting to feel the burn a bit. Which is not a problem I had when you're a kid, but when you get older like this, it becomes a bit of a... not as much fun. Not quite sure what this gang is supposed to represent. But I was able to knock him into the drink, which tells me also I don't want to get too close to that edge, because if I do and I'm not careful, I could also end up getting thrown into the drink. Ow! Well, being able to know how to jump kick is your friend. Hey. Now I get to ride on the motorcycle. Aha! I gotta kick these guys over. Come on! Ooh, I got a turbo. I didn't realize I could have a turbo. Not sure how much that helps me right now. Ow! I almost got him. Oh, and I was able to get down on top of him and beat him up. Well, that went a little bit easier than the first level. As we move on to level 3, still got 2 guys left. And now we're having to fight it's ladies' night. Ow! Quit it! That is one aspect of fighting games from this time period that I suspect would not go over well today. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just it was such a different time. You know, it staggers me to think that this is all now going on 35, 40 years ago. It's like how when I was in the 90s, hearing people talk about how back in the 60s was 30 years at that point, which made my parents' generation feel really old. Now I'm starting to understand that a bit. I'm just going to sit there and jump kick you, because this seems to be working out better. Because I don't need you swinging the Louis Vuittons at me. Ow. Especially since she's got a chain, she's got the purse. You know she's got a couple of horseshoes or something in there. Meanwhile, that bartender at the back's got to be going, what the hell is going on here? But if I let them swing those things, they're going to take me apart. But hey, we got a power button here. As of course it wears off right as I walk right into the swing of the purse. Now go away, or I will taunt you a second time. Oh, I didn't even have a boss to fight in this one. So the jump kick seems to be my most effective weapon at this point. When I'm not getting knocked over. And then as soon as they try and come up behind you and flank you, that's when you deploy the kick. But it's always a matter of remembering what the correct sequence is, because again, everything reverses depending on which way you're facing. See, I can almost get him. The problem is I'm running out of life here. If I can take these two guys out... Ah! Thought I had it. I thought I had it, but now I'm going to have to start this section all over again. Is making sure Stick Boy back there can always stay in a position where I can kick him and not have to worry about punching him. Because the kicks tend to nullify his range with that stick. Like so. Ow! Jerk! Man, they're just whittling me down here. Come on! Uh-oh. I gotta take him out. Whoo! Oh, well, we'll go in here. Alright, just keep jump kicking these guys. The only problem is when I grapple... And then it becomes the problem of what all can I do. Alright, back out we go. And we're back to fighting the purse ladies. But yeah, there was not a fighting platform type of game that I didn't play from this era that didn't have at some point where you ended up having to scrap it out with at least one female character. And I understand kind of to an extent what the Japanese were doing, because you didn't want to have it be an all-male sort of thing, but 35, 40 years later, this is the sort of situation where I suspect it wouldn't go over quite as well. Which is also part of why you don't see so many fighting games anymore. Or at least fighting platformer games like this. Or even Double Dragon. I know there have been talk of trying to bring that particular series back. But again, tastes change, times change. And what we used to enjoy when we were kids is just, you can't really do that anymore. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying you have to roll with the times. And it's part of the world we live in. It's how culture evolves. It's how society evolves. Yeah, I'm definitely not here to preach to anybody about it. I mean, hell, I play video games for a living. Who am I to talk? But in my previous life, I was a journalist for 15 years. So I have seen the trends and everything shift across multiple things for a long time. Alright, I'll go this way for a minute. So you just need to be able to set them up with the jump kick, then you can be able to take them out. Now, all the games I played on the Nintendo Entertainment System as a kid, I don't think this is one I ever beat. And I did play this a couple of times. Oh, I'm getting sandwiched in. That's not good. Fighting one Jack is hard enough. Two Jacks is ridiculous. Oh, I need that. Oh, that hurt. Get lost, punk. Alright, let's try this one again. And it's our last go-around, so... the trick is, don't let them grab you. Like that. That was not what I wanted to do. It would be nice if I could face him the right way. This is not going to end well. I'm already down to 3 hit points. Oh, I'm meat. I am toast. And that's about 22, 23 minutes worth. You know what? I think we are going to call it good for right there. So, that in a nutshell is the 1986 Nintendo Entertainment System fighting game Renegade. This system obviously would be perfected later on with games, as I said, like Double Dragon, which came out, I believe, the following year on the NES. And then you had to go on with things like Final Fight, or Fatal Fury, I should say, I believe, one of the two, and then Streets of Rage and Bad Dudes and all these sorts of games that ruled arcades in the 80s. And then by the time you got to the early 90s, Street Fighter came along, and that, of course, changed everything, because it went from being these sort of platform beat-em-ups to one-on-one fighting games, which we have seen now, obviously, with Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur and every other variation of that format, which makes a feature like Suckerpunch Sunday relevant, and it makes it worth playing, because again, across the 3rd through 6th generation, there are so many of these types of games to play that just trying to even pick them out is difficult to do. But hope you enjoyed this one, guys. It's a little bit quicker than our usual ones, but I don't really put a time cap on how long these sort of features go. But if you did like it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and ring the bell for the latest content. Be sure also to check out Sports Saturday, where we go through and play fighting games across the 8, 16, and 32-bit generations. And, of course, check out our walkthrough for Final Fantasy VI, which we are now 12 episodes into. I'm not entirely sure how much longer we're going to have to go on it, but I'm already working on the next plan for what will come up for our next walkthrough. It will not be a role-playing game, I will tell you that much, but I don't want to give it away. So in the meantime, if you also have games you would like to see featured on the channel from the NES, the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, Neo-Geo, N64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, leave them down in the comments below. As always, I've been Ronin. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you tomorrow back here at the Retrocade. Bye.